world, things were beautiful. And I just remember having a really happy childhood at that time. Mum started a new relationship with somebody in the Netherlands. And one day, out of nothing, and Mum had packed all our things, and we were on our way to Holland. And we were going to live with this new fella and his 2 kids. That kind of upended everything about us, especially as my stepfather became quite physically abusive.
When you got to the children's home, how did you feel?
By this time, I'd already moved various different children's homes. I'd made a lot of friends in the next few houses that I lived in, and I started to feel that I was a lot happier and more content. It was around this time where I was at college, wasn't really enjoying my course, but to leave, it would mean that I'd have to pay back a lot of money. Just didn't really know what to do, and my friend said, "Oh, I might know somebody who can help you." One of these guys, he had a solution, and he said, "Well, you could marry somebody, and then you'd have all this money, and then in 3 years, that would be finished." I wasn't allowed to tell anybody about this. And then I met another acquaintance, and I started talking to him about what was happening, unbeknownst to me that he would go straight back to them, and it was a trap. And when he summoned me, he was very angry. And he said, "You've talked, and now you've got punishment because the people above me have said that you need to pay for this." He said, "You've got a choice to make. You either have your finger chopped off, you work for a week, or we'll kill one of your family members." So I said, "You can have my finger."
How did you feel when you were given this ultimatum?
I'm really scared. I'm sweating, I'm shaking. The kitchen knife came out, and I put my hand on the ironing board. It was just like time had stood still, and my hand was on there, and you can't think straight. Everything becomes really blurry, and I don't know whether he's talking to me, I don't know whether he's saying anything, but I just remember at one point he's saying, "Are you sure? It could just be for 1 week. You'd pay your money back. That's it."
Yeah.
And then I went, okay, 1 week. Really, they wanted me to go and work behind the windows.
When you say windows, for somebody who doesn't understand.
So like the red light district, it's what everybody associates with Amsterdam. That's where they wanted me.
So they were sexually exploiting you?
Yes.
And you were asked to take part in this activity, but you didn't want to do it, but men were coming in.
Yes.
And
I had no choice.
Having sex with you?
Yes. And they would keep all the money, every single penny. I've had a dislocated hip, I've had bruised ribs, I've had furniture broken because I was thrown onto it, and you'd still have to work. If you're busy, you don't stop because you're tired. You don't stop because it's the end of the day. If you've got a queue of people waiting to see you, you carry on. Your life wasn't yours.
What was your mindset like at that point? You're obviously very
as low as I could be. I didn't matter to anybody. Nobody wanted me. I was 19 at this point, and I remember sneaking downstairs, and I remember looking for all the tablets I had, because I just knew I just didn't want to wake up anymore. I just wanted out. I've had enough. I want peace. I need this up here to have some tranquility and beautiful flowers and blue sky. I can't deal with this noise anymore. I woke up in the hospital. They were pumping my stomach. That was probably the night where this guy thought that he needed to handle me differently. So he said that I was going to be his number one girl and had sex with me and without protection. And I was pregnant. Yep. And I think the next day I was back at work as well.
How did you know you were pregnant?
Because I had a miscarriage whilst I was working. Yep, I was bent over double. I'd never had such pain. And I was bleeding. I was bleeding a lot. But you still had to work. They tell you to put a sponge, boil a sponge, stick that in there, and then you won't show that you're bleeding. I think I had a lucky escape, actually, because one of the other girls that was in my group, she had also gotten pregnant, and she wasn't as lucky to have a miscarriage. They beat the baby out of her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Would you say that the people that were controlling you being in these places ran a cartel?
They had some very influential people in their midst, which made you wake up. And I knew that if I was to come out and talk to the police or anything, it wouldn't make a single ounce of difference. I thought, there's still no way ever that I could ever be free. But the idea was growing. And then I remember one house where I was working, I did actually get quite friendly with some people there. And then somebody that I'd befriended said, you know, you can escape. And we had meticulously planned how we would do this. And I think it took about a month before we knew that this was the right time. So there was light at the end of the tunnel.
My heart just goes out to the younger you and anybody going through that. How did you keep going, being in such a dark place?
I used to tell myself time and time again that I was going through this because my future would be okay. I would have a successful future. That's how I got through.
As soon as the word rape or sexual abuse is
Yep.
mentioned, there's a stigma and a shame. How do you cope with that?
For years, there was definitely this taboo, you don't talk about it. But now I don't see it as something not to talk about. I see it as showing somebody there is light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't matter how bad your life is or was, it gets better.